So I've been thinking a lot lately as I'm preparing this Ignite-style presentation on why does digital learning matter. And in our educational system, historically, there's always been a strong emphasis on literacy, following that numeracy. So where does digital learning fit into that puzzle? And I think, I've got three reasons. The first is in a society that's increasingly technophilic and where we increasingly live hybrid lives both on and offline, and we become consumers of vast amounts of information through all sorts of media. In order to raise critical consumers of media, we also have to learn how to be producers of media. To understand how someone's lying to you or misrepresenting information in the media, you have to know how that media can be manipulated. So that's important, and that's point number one. Point number two is a lot of the talk around digital learning is because it enhances engagement. It's more engaging for students to engage, to learn using various digital means. Well, I think that's okay, but that's only part of the story. The other part of the story is like engagement is really just a stepping stone. It's a means, not an end. As my friend Chris Lehman says, it's a means towards the end of student empowerment. In a world where, like the little girl in England writes a blog called Never Seconds, check it out if you haven't, and see what impact that girl's had on the world. Here in Manitoba, you can have a kid put together a blog, and you've got something like the Ladybug Foundation that can grow out of that. So that's the second reason. It's not about engagement, it's about student empowerment and how individuals can change the world. And the third is, sometimes digital learning is called 21st century education. And by 21st century education, usually what they mean is moving away from 20th century or maybe even 19th century education, where people were all learning to do the same thing at the same time in the same way. In today's world, there are fewer and fewer jobs like that. We need people who can all do different things at different times and then pull them together to collaborate and cooperate around accomplishing a larger goal. Which means that we need to teach kids that way. Not everybody doing the same thing at the same time to produce the same object. Maybe everybody makes something different. And various digital means actually facilitate that. So what do you think? Why do you think digital learning is important? What would you say is the advantages towards an emphasis on digital learning and the work you do with students in your class?